What we are seeing in Ukraine today is what we had hoped we would never see in Europe again after the Second World War. It reminds us how fragile peace is and how hard we must work to nurture it. I'm speaking here on behalf of Leeds for Europe. We've been campaigning for 5 years to persuade the British people of the importance of this, of the importance of us having solidarity with our friends and neighbours in Europe, and of the need to have good relations to preserve that peace that we've fought so hard to attain in the 20th century. We believe in cooperation over rivalry, in friendship over enmity, and above all, bonding the countries of Europe together in such a way that conflict between European partners becomes inconceivable. It's notable that one of the first acts that Ukraine has taken since this terrible invasion has been to apply to join the European Union, to come together with those civilized countries of Europe who are their friends and who want to be with them and want to support them. It's notable, of course, that they have not applied to be members of the Russian Federation. What does that tell us? Subsequent to that, they've been joined by Georgia and Moldova, who also want to join us. I say us, Europeans, European mainstream. There are 44 countries in Europe. Of those, only 3 are not in the European Union, or waiting to join the European Union, or in the European Economic Area. Those 3 are Russia, Belarus, and the UK. That is a matter of shame to me and to the people in my organisation. We as a country need to have a good look at ourselves after what has just happened. We have spent 5 years, 6 years messing around, leaving Europe because we're concerned about the shape of bananas, or because we don't like having immigrants in our country, or because we want to so-called take back control. In fact, we've lost control, we've become isolated, we've shown disunity, and we've weakened Europe, civilized Europe, and at the worst possible time, and Vladimir Putin absolutely loves it. So I seriously am asking us all, not just the people here, but the people in this country, to have a real think about what our priorities are as a country and in the face of recent terrible events. Do we want to continue to undermine? Do we want to snipe from the sidelines? Do we want Britain to be isolated and irrelevant? Or do we want to be playing our part in helping Europe to stand up to this existential threat? In the short term, there's a few things I'd like to ask our government to do, or demand our government to do. We want the toughest possible sanctions. We want UK to step up to the plate, as Europe has, as other countries have. It is absolutely vital that we crush Vladimir Putin's regime by peaceful means, sanctions. Otherwise, we're going to find ourselves having no alternative but to be dragged into a war which is getting ever closer. It is vital that we go in hard now on the sanctions, and I don't think our government has done enough. We need to support the Ukrainian people with humanitarian support to their borders, to help them out with food and the provisions, medical supplies, and even also they're going to need military help, because they cannot be allowed to just be crushed without any means of defending themselves in this situation. And finally, we need to have an extremely generous open door policy to refugees who are fleeing this horror. Those are things that our government can do. Those are things that I would ask you to press your MPs, to press your Houses of Lords members, to press the government, the media, everything. Ask for those things. They're things we can do and we must do as soon as possible, and to try and head off the worst of this disaster. Ukraine is a European country. Britain is a European country. Leeds is a European city. We stand together with the Ukrainian people. Only by being united will we defeat this evil. Thank you.